Good evening. Thanks for being here, and welcome to Broadcast Excellence, and a host who's considered by many to be the best talk show host in the business. No, not me, silly. That's my guest, Rush Limbaugh of WABC Talk Radio.
Miggs, how are you?
Good evening.
Thanks for having me up.
Thank you.
Sending a limo. It was class. It was real class.
Well, you deserve it. I guess briefly, I mean, you're known by a lot of people, and why don't you just give us a little capsule background of where you came from and how
Well, I've been a broadcast veteran for, started in 1967. My father owned a radio station, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, a little town about 100 miles south of St. Louis. And I worked there for 4 years through high school and 1 year at college, and I got an offer from ABC in Pittsburgh, and I went. I quit college after 1 year to take it. I was a DJ from then till roughly 1978.
KDKA? Where'd you go?
KQV.
Oh,
KQV in Pittsburgh. And I left KQV when they sold, ABC sold it to Taft, and all of the DJs there got fired because the Taft people came in and did news with it. I went to Kansas City, and I was there for, actually, Pittsburgh through 75, Kansas City in 75. I was at a radio station there for 3 to 4 years and got tired of it. I was tired of being a DJ. I was tired of not being taken seriously. I was tired of being considered a dope-smoking pothead who knew nothing other than Donny Osmond records. So I went to work for the Kansas City Royals for 5 years in sales and marketing, and that was the best thing I ever did. Because I met people I would have never met. I saw the real world function. You cannot possibly imagine what life's really like if you do it from behind a camera, if you do it from behind a microphone, and you never get out amongst the real world. I never learned any business. You don't learn any business as talent. So after those 5 years, I grew tired of it. It wasn't an ego satisfaction type thing, and I went into spoken word format radio at that point. And I started my first talk show really just 4 years ago. 1 year in Kansas City, then out to Sacramento for 3, and then here.
Yeah, and a rapid rise.
Interesting thing, too, after getting out of the business for 5 years, I was better the first day on the air after being out for 5 years than I was the day I left it after being on for 11 years. It's crazy, but it's, I would recommend anybody who's serious about radio get out of it for a while and then get back in.
I know, why don't we just tell them your programs 10 to noon, right?
10 to noon on WABC, each Monday through Friday. And then on Sunday, what they do from 9 a.m. to 1, they replay 4 hours of my network show, which is not heard here in New York yet, but will be at some point.
Okay, well, I wanted to ask about the difference between around the country. I have a quick little, we have a little guest Jeopardy kind of thing we've done with, we did this with Lisa Sliwa on a Penthouse Pat. Real quickie, it's not pass or fail, it's just, this is like Jeopardy. This is the answer, I guess, and what would be the question?
A high slum rub? Is rub an abbreviation for something?
No.
A high slum rub. I have no clue.
Okay. The question would be, what do you get when you scramble the name Rush Limbaugh?
Oh, that's what you've done. I would never have known. They warned me about you.
Okay.
They really did.
Yeah, we should talk. Now, that's another thing.
That is, I got, you know, I asked, when I got this invitation from you in the mail, I asked, I didn't know, I don't know much about Connecticut, and I asked audiences, should I go up and do this show? And I felt so bad that I'd done it because people were calling and they were beating you up. And they were trashing your show here, and it intrigued me, and I felt, well, I would have done it anyway, but I said, I've got to do this. This man, I was just trying to be nice and try to get some advice, and this guy's gotten trashed on my show, so.
Well, believe it, better trashed on your show than not trashed at all, because you would have thought I was on the Tonight Show. The response I got, people that, did a little taping at a Grand Union, and we were talking to this lady, and didn't say my name or anything, but somehow we said Cablevision, and she said, Rush Limbaugh was talking about you, you know, and people were stopping me on the street saying, I heard the show, so you are, you know, widely listened to, and it was great.
Well, WABC is a powerhouse station, and it's a good break. I mean, it's a great opportunity for anybody to make it there, have a chance to be on that station, it really is.
Yeah, well, it was terrific being mentioned. What is the difference? You do the national show, I mean, audiences, are people that different? Are they nutcases out there or out here?
No, I think the New York audience is probably the most unique audience in all the country. For a number of different reasons. You have more ethnicity here that matters. People are more into their ethnic backgrounds and the cultural stereotypes that go with it. People are much more sensitive here about those kinds of things than you find elsewhere. Let me give you an example. And another thing that matters here, too, is you've got 75 radio stations here. In Sacramento, California, we got a morning guy at WABC, Dave Dawson, who likes to put people on, and he'll discuss such things as, are dark-skinned black people dumber than light-skinned black people? You do that anywhere but New York, and the NAACP will show up on your door, have your license, get the person on the air doing it thrown off the air. The NAACP never calls WABC. They've got their own station. They got WLIB, people, I mean, it doesn't bother them. By the same token, you go to, the biggest flap I've gotten into was by mentioning two words. I said Jewish lobby in connection during the presidential campaign. There were Jewish groups who wanted me off the air just because I had said Jewish lobby. They said I'm an anti-Semite. You can say Jewish lobby anywhere but New York and nobody will notice. So there's definitely some things that you have to learn about coming here, and it's part of the indoctrination process. I also think that the difference in audiences from New York to the rest of the country is that there is a smugness about New Yorkers and the Northeast because it is so big and because it's the focus of so much, that there is this natural tendency to think that what goes on out there doesn't matter. And so what those people think out there really doesn't matter. They're hicks, they're kooks, or whatever, it really doesn't matter. And I find that there's less evidence, and I'm not sure that it exists this way, but there's less evidence so far of traditional values in the eastern coast, eastern seaboard, than say you'd find even in California, really.
Well, now you, in your own, I mean, you mentioned saying, you know, having said the Jewish lobby and getting flack. Now you have this segment called the Homeless Update, which introduced with a great song from
Clarence Frogman Henry, ain't got no home.
Well, in fairness, because we invited a
representative of the
a local coalition here. Just actually, the guy's asleep now, but if he gets up, maybe we can have a little conversation. He actually, it's sort of a coincidence. He's from a group that's acronym is Rush, which is really uncouth sleeping homeless.
Well, he's more nattily attired than your average homeless person. Is he himself homeless or just a representative of?
Yeah. No,
so that's a key. That's a key to this.
No, he's homeless.
Just hug me, I'm homeless.
He's looking for, you know, better tuxedo and a. But no.
Well, he ought to be thankful. He's got it better than most.
Do you want to? And you get a lot. You're misunderstood. I mean, that segment is misunderstood. Your whole point of it is misunderstood a lot.
Well, I knew it would be, and it's understandable that it's misunderstood. For one thing, there's the whole piece is a contradiction. On the one hand, here's this song sung by a guy, song's recorded in the 50s, I believe, and it's by Clarence Frogman Henry. And he sings three different ways. He sings as himself in the song, then he sings as a woman, ain't got no hope, and then he sings as a frog. And in all three cases, he hasn't got a home, and he hasn't got a girl, and he hasn't got a girl frog, or he hasn't got a date, or he hasn't got this. And so you put that song juxtaposed with a picture of an actual homeless person, and it could be construed that I'm making fun of the homeless. The thing that I try to do to set my program apart is, other than just being me, is to add music elements to it. Music in a talk show is something that most people aren't used to hearing, so it'll stand out. And all I'm trying to do is grab people's attention for what I say, and I know that they're going to be so mad hearing the song that it's going to take a while before they begin to understand the message. But that's okay. I'm prepared for it to take a long time. The bottom line is for them to get the message. And
be entertained, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole thing here is a lot of people say, you really believe the stuff you say? I don't know, it's for you to figure out.